Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how I make my chicken kabsa. All of my ingredients will be in the description bar below. So I'll be using fresh coriander, cardamom, bay leaves, chili powder, allspice, salt, coriander, black cloves, turmeric and nutmeg, and cumin. I also have my chicken and rice which has already been washed, my canned tomatoes, garlic and ginger paste, and my onions already chopped. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to add some oil to a pan. You don't want the oil to be too hot because we'll be using this to fry our onions and you don't want your onions to burn. Once your onions become soft, you want to add some of the ginger garlic paste. Allow this to cook through gently. So now you can add your pieces of chicken to your pot. Please ensure the stove is kept to a medium so that we don't burn the outside of the chicken. So now I'm just adding some salt to my chicken, and I feel like salt is one of the ingredients that are probably most imperative just because salt enhances the flavour for everything else in this dish. You don't want to add too much, but you need to ensure that you add enough because it won't bring out the flavours from the other spices. I feel like if you've ever had a bland kabsa, this could be because there wasn't sufficient salt. I am going to put the exact measurements that I would use in the description bar below. However, adapt the recipe as you require and make sure you add the salt to taste. So I'm using the allspice seasoning to season my chicken. You may notice that the chicken is quite pale, but the chicken will gradually get colour as it cooks through. I always just continue to stir the onions with the meat. This is just habit. I just want to make sure that the onions don't burn at all because it can really ruin the dish if anything is burnt. At this point, your chicken is starting to get a little bit of colour, but not really. Now, before the chicken gets colour, I just want to add my canned tomatoes. I would say that tomatoes play an important role in the kabsa dish because it's very flavourful, especially for the rice. Allow your chicken to cook through with the canned tomatoes for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You just want to allow the chicken to absorb some of the flavour from the canned tomatoes. Once you've done this, you can start adding all your spices. So once I've added the canned tomatoes and it's had time to sit with the meat, I'm going to start adding in all the flavours and spices that I showed you at the beginning of the video. I add every single ingredient besides the bay leaves and the cardamom. The reason why I like to add the cardamom and the bay leaves afterwards is just because I feel as though they have a really strong flavour, and I do like cardamom and bay leaves but in moderation. However, you can add them all at the same time if you prefer. Now I'm adding water to my chicken and I'll allow this to cook through for at least 45 minutes. This provides a stock, a chicken broth. A lot of people do use stock cubes. However, this isn't necessary because you can generate your own stock from the chicken itself. If you are going to be adding stock cubes, I would do it at this point in the recipe. So about 15 minutes into cooking, I'll add my bay leaves and cardamom. The reason why I don't put this in before is just because they have a very strong flavour and I would prefer to add it on later on, but you can add it along with the other ingredients as well. This step is completely optional. I like to take my chicken out and put it into a frying pan with some oil so that my chicken is a little bit crispy on the outside. And then to my almost like chicken stock now, I'm going to add my rice and turn the heat down a little bit. Once you've added your rice, you can allow it to cook for at least 10 to 15 minutes. However, please follow the instructions on your packaging because this will be most suitable for the rice that you have. Once your rice is almost completely cooked, you want to turn the hob off and you want to allow the rice to steam. And you'll just put the lid on for this process. You're not going to serve the kabsa straight away, just let it steam through. This will ensure that the rice is cooked properly and it won't be soggy at all. This is optional, but I like to add a tablespoon of butter at the end. It just adds a little bit more flavour. And this is also optional, so you have some nuts. I'm using pine nuts and almonds, and I'll use this to dress the kabsa at the end. Once you are completely satisfied that your rice is steamed all the way through, put your kabsa onto a platter. Please use a tea towel because it's so hot, especially if you're using a pot like mine, and prepare your things that you want to use to dress your kabsa. So my personal favourite nuts to use are pine nuts or slivered almonds, but just use whatever you have. Sometimes if I don't have the nuts that I want, I just don't use any. So now you just want to add your chicken to your rice and you can dress it nicely, prepare all the things that you want to use to add additional flavour. Some people use different kinds of nuts like cashew nuts, but for me they're too big to have with the rice, and some people add raisins as well. Also, if you want to keep the chicken really, really soft, don't put the chicken in the frying pan. So now you can add a little bit of coriander. This is great because it adds a burst of flavour to the rice, and this is your chicken kabsa completed. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial on how to make chicken kabsa. Please follow my Instagram page, it's at Cyprus Bait, and please comment any suggestions that you may have for future videos.